The Hawk system, a widely employed medium-range surface-to-air missile system developed by Raytheon during the Vietnam War era, has demonstrated adaptability and effectiveness in multiple global conflicts, making it a popular choice for numerous countries. Both the United States and Spain have contributed Hawk missile systems to Ukraine, aiding their defense against Russia's special military operation, with the objective of safeguarding Ukrainian airspace and targeting Russian rotary and fixed-wing aircraft. Featuring remarkable specifications, the latest iterations of the Hawk missile possess an impressive Mach 2.7 speed and the capability to engage targets up to 31 miles away. These advanced missiles are outfitted with a potent 165-pound high-explosive warhead specifically engineered for efficient destruction of enemy aircraft. Hawk missile. The Raytheon Company, in collaboration with Northrop, pioneered the development of the MIM-23 Hawk, an acronym denoting homing all the way killer, during the early 1950s. Northrop contributed to the project by focusing on the radar launcher and fire control systems, while Raytheon specialized in the missile's design and production. In June 1956, the inaugural guided test launch of the Hawk missile marked a significant milestone. Subsequently, after a successful testing phase, the U.S. Army established its initial Hawk unit, deploying the foundational variant MIM-23A. Additionally, the U.S. Marine Corps embraced the Hawk system and incorporated it into their arsenal by 1960. During the 1960s, a NATO memorandum was signed by the United States, Germany, Belgium, Italy, France, and the Netherlands, solidifying their commitment to jointly produce the Hawk missile for European deployment. Furthermore, allied nations like Spain, Denmark, South Korea, and Japan engaged in discussions during the same decade to procure the esteemed Hawk system. During the late 1970s, the U.S. Army initiated a comprehensive product improvement plan to elevate the Hawk missile's capabilities through the integration of advanced features. This plan was implemented in 3 distinct phases. Phase 1, spanning from 1979 to 1981. Phase 2, taking place from 1983 to 1986. And Phase 3, occurring between 1983 and 1989. The primary objective of these upgrades was to bolster the system's overall performance while addressing any identified shortcomings. System components. A complete Hawk battery comprises various essential components such as pulse acquisition, range-only radar, information battery, assault fire command console, platoon command post, launcher section controls, launch platform, missile transport pallet, and generator. In the final phase of the Hawk upgrade, Phase 3, a notable reduction in the number of components required for a successful missile launch was achieved. It is important to note that the specific components needed may vary depending on the type of warhead carried by the missile. Characterized by a cylindrical body, the Hawk missile showcases 4 elongated clip delta wings, each featuring a trailing edge control surface. These wings span a length of more than 17 feet, with a diameter of 1.3 feet and a total wingspan of 4 feet. Weighing approximately 1,290 pounds, the Hawk missile is powered by a dual-thrust motor capable of propelling it through both boost and sustained phases. With a minimum engagement range of 1.2 miles and a minimum altitude requirement of 200 feet, the MIM-23, a variant of the Hawk, demonstrates its versatility. This variant can engage targets at a maximum range of 16 miles and a maximum altitude of 36,000 feet. On the other hand, the MIM-23B variant of the Hawk surpasses its predecessor with improved range, speed, and firepower, allowing it to carry a 75-kilogram warhead. World support. Initially, the U.S. Army intended to deploy more than 300 Hawk missiles during the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, but de-escalation efforts averted further tensions with the Soviet Union and Cuba. In March 1965, a few months after ground troop deployment in Vietnam, The U.S. Marine Corps strategically installed multiple Hawk systems at Hill 327 to effectively counter North Vietnamese air assaults. In response to escalating regional threats, the Israeli Defense Forces initiated the deployment of the inaugural Hawk unit in 1967. During this deployment, a moment of tragedy occurred when an Israeli Hawk missile intercepted a friendly aircraft that was on a collision course with the Negev Nuclear Research Center. 2 years later, both American and Israeli Hawk systems successfully engaged and brought down additional aircraft in the skies above Vietnam and Palestine. Throughout the duration of the Iran-Iraq War, spanning from 1980 to 1988, Iranian Hawk systems effectively brought down more than 40 Iraqi warplanes. In 1990, Hawk missiles intercepted Soviet-made aircraft that had intruded into Kuwaiti airspace as part of Iraq's aggressive conquests in the Middle East. Currently, the Hawk missile system remains operational in over 15 countries. Notably, Spain recently declared its commitment to maintain its Hawk systems in service for a minimum of 10 additional years. Enter Ukraine. Following President Vladimir Putin's military operation against Ukraine in February 2022, which involved the buildup of troops along the border, NATO and the United States have been consistently increasing humanitarian and military aid to Ukraine, including the provision of both lethal and non-lethal equipment. In October 2022, two senior American officers disclosed to Reuters that the U.S. Department of Defense was contemplating the deployment of stored Hawk air defense equipment to Ukraine. The objective behind this potential action was to strengthen Ukraine's defense capabilities against Russian drone and cruise missile attacks. This development emerged shortly after NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg announced that the Spanish Army had pledged to donate 4 Hawk anti-aircraft missile systems to Ukraine. The donated Hawk missile systems from Spain belong to the MIM-23B variant, possessing a minimum engagement range exceeding 1.5 kilometers and a minimum altitude of 60 meters. They are capable of engaging targets at a maximum range of 35 kilometers and reaching altitudes of nearly 20,000 meters. Furthermore, these missiles are equipped with a 75-kilogram high-explosive warhead, effectively neutralizing Russian aerial assets. Weapon delivery. President Joe Biden's commitment to support Ukraine by providing the Hawk missile system is expected to bring about a substantial enhancement to Ukraine's air defenses. Despite currently relying on the Stinger missile system donated by the U.S. military to defend against Russian air attacks, Ukraine has demonstrated resilience and mounted a strong counteroffensive with its limited assets. Utilizing the presidential drawdown authority, the U.S. military is anticipated to transfer Hawk missiles to Ukraine, bypassing the need for congressional approval. Although the exact quantity of Hawks to be supplied has not been specified by the Department of Defense, President Biden has pledged to furnish more advanced air defense systems to aid in countering Russian aggression. Discussions surrounding the efficacy of the Hawk system in comparison to the Stinger missiles have emerged. Opinions from experts, such as Tom Caracco, the director of the Missile Defense Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, suggests that the Hawk system might not constitute a significant upgrade over the Stinger missiles. They'd argue that while the Hawks offer increased range and firepower, other advanced air defense systems may prove more effective in neutralizing threats. System upgrade. According to the expert, while the Hawk missile system would be effective against certain types of fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft, it may not be suitable for all scenarios. Nonetheless, providing the Hawk system to Ukraine signifies the United States' willingness to offer available capabilities within reasonable limits. Despite its age and limitations, the system could potentially serve as a deterrent against Russian aircraft. Gabriela Rosa Hernandez, a specialist from the Arms Control Association, affirmed that the Hawk system would undeniably aid Ukraine in defending against missile attacks and accurately targeting low-flying objects. The primary concerns lie in the speed of delivering the system to Ukraine by the U.S. government, and the Ukrainians' training and proficiency in operating and maintaining it effectively. As of November 2022, the United States has furnished Ukraine with military and humanitarian aid exceeding $17 billion. This assistance aims to support Ukraine in its defense efforts and address the ongoing conflict with Russia.